Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Sunday show. My name is Tracy. I am checking to see if people can hear me online. I'm so glad that you joined. We're going to have a pretty quick show today. Um, I'm trying to see something before I start, so sorry, guys. I'll be with you here in just a moment. Um, so I hope everybody um is doing well. Um, Um, yep. So hold on, guys. I'm coming. So, how many days until the NFL season kicks off?
The 2026 NFL season starts on Thursday, September 10th, 2026. As of March 22nd, 2026, there are about 172 to 174 days, or roughly 24 weeks, remaining until the opening game.
So there's 24 weeks remaining until the NFL season starts. And yes, today I have some football news. It's big, it's monumental. You all know I started this podcast because the NFL went away. And I was like, what am I going to do till the NFL season comes back? I got 24 more weeks of this, so get used to it. But before you do, remember to hit that subscribe button. We are up to 410. That means I am 90 away from 500. Come on, guys. Hit that subscribe button, hit it, smash it, obliterate it, destroy it. I am so very close to 500 subscribers. It is coming. I can smell it. It's near, but I need your help to take me all the way. I'm putting in my second link here. And remember to also support me on Patreon. Patreon support starts at $2 per month. That's 50 cents a week. When there are 4 weeks, it's 25 cents a week. If it's five, my math is not mathing, but you get the picture. It's only $2 a month. So remember to support me. Um, on Patreon. Also, I still have my GoFundMe campaign. Um, again, I'm not going to talk about that today because it's a long story about why I need help. But, you know, sometimes even those of us who don't like to ask for help have to ask for help. So support me on my GoFundMe. Remember, I'm trying to raise $2,500. And final announcement is join us for the after party. That's going to start in the month of May. Yes, I know it's March, but we're going to start the after party back in May. That's when the Tracy show moves from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. And then the after party will be once a month right after that episode. So I haven't had anybody sign up yet. So just remember to sign up for the after party. The link is in the description section, but I thought I would just make mention. So we're going to talk about a couple of things today. Like I said, big NFL news. I do my 49ers. We're going to talk a little bit about the Iran war. Um, we're going to talk about things about the James Tellerico, Jasmine Crockett races that I don't think. Now, you think you know good and well what this podcast is. This is my, this is my tide me over till the NFL comes back podcast. So you know what it is. Come on now, you know what it is. Are you for real? Oh my goodness. Oh gosh, my sensor has stopped, so um I am going to do this. Guys, give me about 2 minutes because apparently my sensor has failed. I didn't think it would fail, but it failed, and I have to have my sensor so that my pump will work. It'll take me like 2 minutes. I'll be right back. Mhm. Oh, wait. So, okay. So you all saw me kind of drag in there. Forgot to remove myself, but I am back. I got my sensor, so I'll be putting it on. Welcome to everybody. So again, I will be talking about the Iran war. Not too much because there's not really any pressing news that we all need to know about. It's pretty much the same thing. Again, I'm going to definitely be talking at length about things about the recent Texas um, primary that took place, um, and some questions I have, and I don't know why nobody else has asked these questions. Um, I'm going to some more pop culture. I will be talking about the Academy Awards. Yes, I will be talking about them and how that one movie that I've never saw. Well, I didn't see any of the movies. Let me put it like this: I've seen none of them, but I want to talk about Ryan Coogler's win for Best Original Screenplay, and of course the win that actually shocked me because I didn't think I was like, no way, Michael B. Jordan B. Jordan won his Oscar. I didn't think that was going to happen. I also want to talk about what I think independent slash third party candidates can do to actually win elections. I think this is a really good time for us to kind of throw our hats in the ring. And of course, like I said, I got big, super big news about the NFL season. Um, and it's all good for me. So you know it's gotta be about my team, the 49ers. So let's get started. So of course, we know that it doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that this action against Iran was what Trump used to deviate our attention away from the Epstein files. It it's so it's so it's so obvious that that's what this was for. Um, and when you think about it, I know people are like, "Oh, well, no, this is separate." And Israel's wanted to start off Israel. Well, yeah, Israel has always wanted to get into a war with Iran. And if you think about it, let's think about this. Reagan didn't bomb Iran. Father Bush didn't. Clinton didn't. Son Bush didn't. Obama didn't. And Biden did. How come Trump did it? It's amazing to me that now we've got some things about the files that are coming out that we didn't know about. And what I'm getting at is there are at least 3 million more documents that have not been released yet. And the Department of Justice is saying, FBI is saying, we're not going to release them. And they think we're going to be okay with this. I don't think at this point people care. You know, I'm putting on my censor now, so everybody just pardon me. Um, that who if a Democrat's on it or Republicans on it. We just want, or I just want the people that should be held accountable names are on there. Um, there were concerns that there are parts of their redacted from the public view. Now, personally, I think if you're going to redact anybody's name, it should be those that are the victims. Their name should be automatically redacted. We don't need to know their names. They're standing accused. They are the accusees, not the accusers. So those who are victims or potential victims, they deserve protection. They deserve, everything that we can give them possibly. They've already been through this traumatizing event already once, so there's no reason to put their names out there again. But those who are accused, put their name out there all day. Put them on Front Street. Take out big old billboards and say here, 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 and here, and here. I don't care that both Bill Clinton and Donald Trump and whomever else is named. I literally don't care. If you're guilty, you don't deserve protection. Your name needs to be unredacted. And if Trump is innocent, like he says he's innocent, then you wouldn't care. Matter of fact, when they were having, hearings, you would hold a press conference and be like, ask away. Ask any question that you want. I did not realize I didn't take this ponytail off my head. Why didn't y'all tell me? Um, and so it just to me was a really easy, oh, let's bomb Iran, and we won't even have to think about this. We'll just do this little action and nobody will care because they'll be all in this Iran thing and we'll just forget about the Epstein files. And turns out we won't. Sorry, but this is the thing about insulin pumps. You got to put everything in here. So I got to put this in here and then tell my meter, hey, this is what it is. 8, 3, 4. Okay, so now I got that taken care of. But it amazes me that we are just don't let this illegal war that Trump started distract you from what's really at stake, right? Um, Iran never had nuclear weapons. From my understanding, I thought they did, but they didn't. So I was corrected, and whoever corrected me, thank you very much. So they were never going to attack the U.S., despite what Mark Rubio wants you to think. He's like, oh, they're going to attack the United States, and Iran was like, no, we have no intentions of attacking the American people. Um, and how is it? And Trump was his line self telling, oh, there's Iranian insolets inside the United States. We know where they are. Well, why don't you go get them? I mean, they're out there. I mean, you know where they are because your lips said you know where they are. Why don't you go to get them? I mean, that's just amazing to me that you say you know where they are. Um, I'm trying to send out an announcement here, guys. Um, and it doesn't make sense to me that you say, "Oh, we know exactly where they're at." Okay, then why don't you go to get them? I mean, you know where they're at. You don't. I mean, you know where they're at. Um, I mean, just go get them. I mean, that's like how Netanyahu lied. And yeah, this is true. The only truth about Trump is that he's lying. Hey, but you ain't never lied. That is so true. It's like when the man opens up his mouth, he's lying. It's like, does Trump say truthful things? Yeah, I think in his own mind, he's fooled himself into thinking what he says is true. Like he's convinced that what he's saying is true. So to his mind, he's not lying. But yet every time that man opens up his mouth, he's lying. Yeah, we know exactly where they are. Again, go get them. That's like when Netanyahu was trying to say, oh, well, Hamas is in the tunnels. Well, then why are you bombing schools? They're in the tunnels, right? You said they were in the tunnels, but you're bombing hospitals and schools and NICUs and turning off electricity and cutting off water, and you're killing Palestinians. And Palestinian Hamas is not the same. Anybody ever says that on their show, they will get permanently blocked. And so this Iran thing to me, this is just Trump just trying um to distract. He's trying to distract from what's going on. Wait a minute. I want to make sure. Oh, da 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 da. I'm trying to figure out what the most recent status of the war is, guys. So I'm looking at my phone here. Um, and another thing about this, yeah, I'm just gonna call it a war. Um, it's not going the way that Texas and Trump are saying. They're like, oh, we declare a victory. Well, how can that be if Iran is striking Israel targets? If they were defeated, wouldn't they have given up by now? I mean, I don't know if they just think we're this stupid or oh wait a minute. I want to read something here and I can't find it. Do, 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 do. Du- 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 du. I'm looking at this thing that talks about why Israel is it because you know the US government, they just do whatever Israel says. So if you want to know why the US is bombing Iran, it's because Netanyahu told them to do it. And that's why. So I wanted to know, well, why is Iran fighting with Israel? I didn't know this. So according to what I'm reading, um, the key drivers of the conflict include the nuclear program concerns, ideological hostility and proxies, escalation from shadow war to direct conflicts, and regional dominance. Those are the four factors that have driven this war, according to AI. Um, and but Iran doesn't have nuclear weapons, right? Because there's the only countries that I know that have nuclear weapons: China, Russia, one of the Koreas, and don't please don't shoot me, guys. I forget whichever the Korea is that's on our side. I think it's South Korea. No, no, it's the other one. It's the other one that's not with Kim Jong Un. That's North. Okay, so it's Russia, China, North Korea, Israel, United States. Yeah, those are the five countries I know had nuclear bombs. Only one country has ever used it, and that's the United States. We used it back in what, 40, when Japan bombed Tokyo. So, yep, got that. So, um, I didn't name Iran. So, and I want to get this straight. So the US says that they don't want Iran with nuclear weapons. then shouldn't, and I'm just asking because I'm ignorant and I don't know, shouldn't then the US stop making its nuclear weapons? I mean, I don't believe any country needs nuclear weapons. I don't think anybody should have them. I think they should be illegal. I think that all the countries of the world needs to get together and say we're not making any more. That's what I think. Now, I may not be living in reality land. Um, The US and Israel have taken the role of old Germany and Japan. It only took 2 generations for those roles to reverse. True. Did you get my link? Because I just sent you a link. But dang, I forgot what I was saying. Um, yeah, you're telling. Yeah, I was talking about why does the U.S. continue? The U.S. says, well, this country shouldn't have weapons, but don't those countries feel like the U.S. shouldn't have weapons? I mean, technically, some country that has weapons could say, hey, we're attacking the United States because the United States has does the US technically have weapons? Yes. So ideally Canada could say, you know what, we're not trading with you because you have a nuclear weapon. Think about it. I didn't name Iran. I didn't name Iran. I didn't name Canada. I didn't name Mexico. I didn't name France. I didn't name Germany. I didn't name Australia. I only named 5 countries that I could think of that have nuclear weapons. And none of those countries were Iran. We're talking about their potential to make them. We already have them. We already have nuclear weapons. Yet, if somebody came to us and say that we can, so it's like our government saying, "Well, we can have them, but you can't." Well, that doesn't make sense. Well, again, I in my perfect little idealistic world think, hey, all the countries of the world should just come together and say, you know what? No, we're not going to produce these type of weapons. They're dangerous. Oh, and the United States government, I want to talk about the size of our military. It's ridiculous. Like our military might is just ridiculous. Our military is twice the size of the next 8 countries behind us. That means that if you put China, Russia, South Korea, all the quote unquote bad countries together, they can't even stay our the size of our military, the weaponry that we have will overtake them by at least twice. And I'm like, what? Like I I didn't realize because I thought China had the biggest military because I thought, well, they're the most populous country on the planet. So wouldn't they have like the biggest military? Nope, I was wrong. And I don't know if this war is a play on let's keep our military um as large as we can while we can and do what we can. We're just gonna keep manufacturing these wars to keep it at the size because now this war has it's costing up to $205 billion, and yet we're cutting SNAP, and yet people are losing their homes, and yet people can't pay for their medication, and yet people can't pay for health care. Yet people are living off of their credit cards, living paycheck to paycheck. But apparently, we got $205 billion just sitting around and we can just send it off to war. I mean, our priorities are wrong, right? The military industrial complex has grown so large. It's like we're starting wars just to make them rich. We're not starting wars because, okay, I'm going to give an example when I think war is necessary, because I do think there are very few circumstances where I think war is necessary. If somebody attacks America, that's war. Yeah, I know all of the leftists and the progressive. Yeah, I can tune out, blah, blah, blah. But if somebody attacks this country, we have a right to defend ourselves. That to me is justifiable. What's not justifiable is lying on a country saying they have weapons. We're saying they have weapons They don't. We have them, but we're saying they can't have them. We don't like you know what? Hello, Nelson. Good to see you. We do have a narcissist for president, but he has a party that's enabling him, right? The Republican Party refuses to stand up to this guy. They act like they are so scared of him. They won't. They don't disagree with him. They don't. They don't. It's like, can we learn from Marjorie Taylor Greene, please? I can't believe I'm saying this. Learn from her. She's like this. He didn't put him. He was when he said he was going to put America first. He was lying to you, Trump supporters. He was lying to you. He never wanted to put America first. He wants to make the military big. He knew that you didn't want war, so he just said what he had to say to get elected. Is your quality of life better? And don't think, oh, the economy is great. No, it's not. I think for me and everybody who's watching, tell me how much gas prices are here. Thank goodness I had enough sense to almost fill up on my tank. So I paid what $25, and I got a little bit more than half a tank because I don't go a whole lot of places. So for me, I'm not going from one place to another to another to another. I just drive where I got to drive, and I come home. I saw gas at 340 last week. I don't know what it is. Let me see what gas is. I'm just gonna check. Mm, okay, let me just check. What are gas prices in Indianapolis, Indiana? 378? Oh, oh, wait a minute. Hold on, y'all. 378? That's almost $4 a gallon. And that's for like the regular. If you get premium, because sometimes I like to get premium sometimes. Oh, wait a minute. Good afternoon.
Hey, Tracy. Sorry, I can't get to Messenger on my computer. So
I didn't know you was free, so I'm like, well, why you sitting out there comment on stuff? I might as well, because I don't do well by myself. I do not do well by myself.
you do fine. It's me that doesn't do well by
Mm,
myself. I
I,
put
I, I
people to
need
sleep.
all the I need all the help I'm getting. So one of the things I'm talking about that just in my idealized world, nuclear weapons never make sense to me. Nobody should have them. I think we should all teach the world what Coca-Cola. Remember that song? I like to teach the world to see.
You
Oh,
um I hate to mess your world up. Look up
I know.
Coca-Cola in South America.
I, I know. This is why I said I'm in this idealized what I want the world to be, but I can't understand because you're the one who I believe told me Iran does not have a nuclear weapon.
Correct. The
So
US
we're
told us that.
bombing them. Right. So we're bombing them because they have the potential. But
Mm,
I know, well, this is what they're telling us. So just hear me out. So, but I know the United States has nuclear weapons. So how come it's okay for us to have them, but they can't have them? My mind isn't like it's not connecting.
yeah, I mean, it's all about he who has the power makes the rules. So um and they have the added benefit, and this is my biased position, but I think I'm right here. They have the added benefit of being able to wear religion as a shield as they use evil in their other hand, right? So they're holding up religion in one hand, shielding them from any what do you call it, criticisms, right? But then in the other hand, they have a sword and they're just chopping people down left and right. And if you dare fight back, they just put their shield up and say, oh, so now you're against me because I'm Christian, or you're against me because I'm Jewish, not because of the things that
The
I'm
things that
I'm
are
doing.
actually doing. Like the thing there, and you just said something that, and everybody who's ever watched my programs know. As much as I try to be Christian, I'm like, we are not all this stupid. I promise we are not. We actually read we actually understand. We I'm gonna talk about me. I'm talking about me now. I have enough sense to know everybody is not Christian. I know
Okay.
this. I know this. I know people practice Buddhism, uh, Judaism, Islam. There, I saw in this country we had this thing, and it's called separation. See, it's called separate because see, Jesus, he don't really need the government's help like that. See, because if he's
You
got all
talking?
power, like you say he's got all power, because you said, not you, but you,
Yeah.
Marco Rubio, says that Jesus has all power, which okay, I agree with. So now he needs the government's help? No, no, no. You need his help. He don't need you like that.
From the time that religion was created, it has been used to tell a story contrary to the action. So yeah, they're saying the things that they're saying because they know what it generates, right? Anytime that I know growing up, this is very common that you'll hear Christians say, "He knows my heart," or "Be patient with me; he's not done working on me yet." Um, or in our tradition, "Don't make me take my Holy Ghost off," right?
Oh, no, no, that's set your religion aside.
Well, I hear holy. I've always been told, "Don't make me take my Holy Ghost off," right? You about to make me put down Jesus and pick up thieves, right? Um, but all of that to say, like that's just funny talk, But what it's really kind of getting at, though, is if you push against someone, it's very easy for I'm going to say us because I used to be a Christian, so it's very easy for us to say, "Well, that's not a true Christian," right? But under the exact same reasoning, we'll also say, well, I can't judge another man's heart. That's only for God to do. So if they say that they're Christian, then they're Christian. They may not be practicing properly. They may, various things, but that's not for me to know, right? Because, we have deathbed conversions and all those other things, right? So these people are very cynical and they're using their power. This is all about power. And religion is a convenient tool because they know for those who do not have power, they oftentimes have a lot of religion. So those who have power use religion to get away with things. They don't
And
truly believe in it because if they did,
I
they
hear
couldn't do it.
I hear what you're saying, but all you got to do, people, you got a Bible apps. All you got to do is open up that
It's not
Bible
enough.
app. Just go to, and if you don't know, ask us. Well, don't just ask no anybody. Don't ask no anybody. Ask somebody that knows something is gonna tell you the truth. But
But
you
that's just it, Tracy. No one
discernment.
no one knows the truth. Every church is saying something different. And yet they are. That's why we have so many pastors. But they're preaching out of the same Bible that was used to justify the Crusades in Europe, the same Bible that was used to justify chattel slavery, the same Bible that is used to keep women from having their rights, the same Bible that, you know what I'm saying? So you can weaponize this any way you kind of want to if you're willing to be manipulative enough to play on someone else's weaknesses, to play
And
to
that's
play on
what they're
somebody else's
doing.
fear.
And I think that's what frustrates me because I'm like, y'all, all you gotta do is read this scripture and this one and this one and this one and this one, and you're gonna come right to the
But then
conclusion.
they'll read a different one. They'll read another four
Right.
or five.
You Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I'm hearing you and I agree with you, but it's just like it still upsets me because I'm like,
Oh, it
y'all
should.
letting these y'all letting these folks play in y'all face.
Yeah.
Vacation Bible school people, they have it
Mm.
for a reason.
Well, see, now you're gonna get me, the secular guy, right? And you
No, I'm
know,
talking about the people that say they know him. I'm talking
no,
to
no,
the
no, I
people that
get
say
it. But
they
what I'm
know him.
saying is your experience with Vacation Bible School is not the same experience that a lot of people had, right? So you're kind of like on dangerous ground once you start going in there, because people use power to manipulate others. So for every person who had a really positive experience, or maybe not one to one, but for people who've had a positive experience, just keep in mind that there's a lot of people who had a horrible experience because
That's true
someone
too.
used it to hurt them, right? Um, so it just gets really muddy. But when we look at it from the higher level, we're talking about the US, we're talking about Israel, we're talking about any of these different things. What Israel did a very similar thing to what the US did, which is probably why they kind of moved so close in lockstep in this respect. They managed to fuse identity with politics, with religion. They were able to bring all three together. So if you talk to the typical white evangelical, they do not have a difference between being white, being an American, and being a Christian. It's literally ingrained in them through their churches and through their social networks that a Democrat can't be a true Christian. The only true Christians are Republicans. So if you try to get them to say, wait a minute, what's going on is contrary to what the Bible says, they can't do it for the most part, because it's not just as simple as that's not what Jesus says. In fact, they're so deep in that if you speak to them in the terms of Jesus, they will reject it because the way they're hearing it from you is commie or socialist or weak or something like
And
that, because
yeah,
that's how they've
I
been
agree.
taught.
Yeah, that's how everything you're saying, I agree with, but I'm still angry. It
You should
still
be.
makes me mad because we falling for some okey doke crap. When you say you wanted his, you oughta have discernment. That's the word I'm looking for. Discernment.
To
Like
them, they
like
do. To them, they do. To them,
to them they
they
do.
actually are seeing the truth and
Jesus
you're
said a
not.
tree is known by the fruit it bears.
Exactly. But it also says that if you are a believer in him, he will open up a window and pour out a blessing you do not have room to receive. Now, if you look at in this current world, who has the apparent blessings that they can't even properly manage? Now, I know it's supposed to be a spiritual reward,
Yeah, I
but
was gonna say
that's
spiritual,
not how
not
people
financial.
process it.
Yeah, that's
That's not
not,
how,
and yeah, that's
yeah.
bad teaching. That's just
But it
bad
doesn't matter.
teaching.
No, I hear you, and I've heard that argument before. But it's not as simple as bad teaching, because you can talk to decent Christians, and they also have that twisted. It's you can't help it. We're growing up in the physical world, right? So unfortunately, the human aspect of us has dominion as far as our practical day-to-day lives. It has dominion over our spiritual selves. That's why we continue to wrestle against it constantly. We're constantly wrestling against good and evil, as they say in your text, but we're constantly at war with that thing, right? So it's not as simple as saying good teaching versus bad teaching, because if the Bible was as inviolate as people say it is, if God was as perfect as people say he is, and I'm not saying he is or he isn't, or she is or she isn't, or if you decide to gender God, whatever you do. But what I am saying is, if things were as solid and pure as people like to present them, then there would be judgment rained on these people who are deliberately misleading God's people, right? But we don't see that. In fact, what we see is the usurpers being rewarded. And what happens over time, generation after generation of the bad guys winning, is you have to kind of ask yourself, if you slow down and do it, are they really the bad guys? Or are the ones we think are the bad guys just foolish? Right? Like, somebody's getting rewarded here, and it's not being interrupted. So are they wrong or are
See,
we
again,
wrong?
that's why I said who I'm talking to is the ones of us that say we know him. I ain't talking to you
These
who
people
don't.
say they know.
Well, I'm getting to that. We already know our reward is not here. It's not here on earth. It's just not here.
So then what's the point of here?
Point here is to get us prepared for up there.
But we came from there. So what's the point of here?
To get us prepared for what's up there.
That doesn't
God
make
made,
sense, Tracy. We came from there,
yes,
landed here to go back there.
yes.
So what is the point of here? We were already there, right? So you sent us here.
Yes. He was there.
So we can't go back there?
I don't see. Here's where I'm going to take a slight variation of what you're saying, because I understand the question you're asking, and this how first of all, I am not a biblical scholar in the least.
I respect that. I'm not trying to make you be one. I'm just.
Wait a minute, my stupid meter is going off. Oh, it's telling me my blood sugar is a little hot. In my understanding, we were never there. Now he made there for me to go to, right? But
well,
I'm here. We were here on earth. He created earth for people.
He had to put us here.
He absolutely put us here.
So after the original people, which this is a fun one for me, and I know you don't want to go down this path, I'm not going to do it to you, but a baby comes here. Right? Yes. It's a collection of cells, and then it becomes a fetus, and then when it's birthed into being a baby, where did it come from?
Came from God.
Thank you. Where did he get it from? Like what storage shelf did he reach out?
Well, he made people in his image.
Okay, but I'm not saying that. I am saying the baby.
I guess I don't get the question you're asking me. I don't think I'm understanding.
Okay. The essence of your existence, not your shell, the essence of your existence comes from God, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if that is the case, and when you finish whatever length of time you have on this earth in your earthly life, you return. In theory, I'm about to break this because you actually don't, but you return to him. I came from you. You put me here just for me to figure out how to get back to you. Why did you send me away? What was the point?
I think Nelson just answered your question, and then we're gonna move on because now I get what you're asking me. But Nelson says we are just spirit, and we came to get a physical body and to test it. Well, I don't believe God sends tests, but since you said test, I'm gonna say test. No, New Testament says he does not test.
He tested Jesus. He tested
the
Job.
New Testament says that God does not send us tests, and that's in the book of James.
But he also sent Jesus, New Testament, up into the mount of whatever it was, and he had to be tested by Satan. Satan, whom is under the purview and power and control of God. So God permitted the test. God set the test. Jesus had to pass the test.
Okay, so I'm being semantical. He permitted the trial, not the test.
One thing. Plus, when Jesus was being sacrificed, and he was being, sacrificed, I'll go with that. Peter had to face his test because Jesus said, "You will deny me, and the rooster will crow."
Yeah.
So that's a test, and that's in the New Testament.
I'm telling you, it's a trial.
A trial is a test.
They're literally two different things. Look, I'm not here for Bible discussion 101, but to me, they are two different things. But I want to read the statement that Nelson is saying because I think he's on to something. We are just spirit, and we came to get a physical body and to test us to find out if we are worthy to return to live with him. So next subject, because like I said, I got the basics, and I'm on fun. Now you got me looking in here.
I would love to have these conversations because the thing is, it's not like I'm just somebody who's out trying to like poke holes in things. I really want people to think things through. right? Because I believe that my God is strong enough to be questioned because he's
You can
beyond all
question.
question.
He says, "Inquire of me." He said, and he literally said, "Inquire of me."
Right. So these
He
are what I'm
literally
doing.
said that.
I am encouraging people.
No, I'm not
Ask
saying
some
don't
questions.
ask me. I just want to make sure I'm saying it in a way that makes sense.
No, you're good. You're good. And I ain't mean to take you off track anyway. So we can go to the other thing you were talking about.
Yeah. Okay. But I want to find this scripture because I know it's in the scripture. Hi, there it is. James chapter 1. Yep, there it is. I knew I find it. It's more okay. So testing is more of a refining process. It's a purging process. It's a perfection process, not testing like if you don't get the answers right, you flunk the test. That's the way you are thinking of testing. That's the way I think of it. That's why I said it's not really possible. But to refine us, absolutely. God will absolutely refine us. But I'm going to read this, and it says James chapter 1, verse 13. I did not think I was going to be reading scripture today. Thank you, Theus. I had this all planned out, but and this shows that I need to be doing some study.
Are you sure you
Studying.
want to do this? Because we can just move to the next thing.
No, we're gonna move after I read it. Then we're gonna move because I'm gonna let you comment. But I just want to read this because oh well, my platform, I'll do it. Okay, hold on a second. Okay, so James comes after Hebrews. And then verse 13. Oh, see. Yeah, so James 13 says, let no man say that when he is tempted, I am tempted of God. For God cannot be tempted with evil, neither tempteth he any man.
That's temptation. That's temptation. That's not trial. That's not test.
Well,
that's
it
temptation.
says that temptation is a form of testing. So I'm like, well, and I'm reading
and
out
trials are a form of testing. So it's like you're in a big loop. I get it. This is what kind of what we were talking about earlier. How depending upon how you're coming to the scripture and the framework in which you're entering into it, you can get something from it. That's the nature of it. And there's nothing wrong with that, but that's why we can never settle these types of debates, so to speak.
Well, I'm not arguing with you. I'm right.
Well, I'm not arguing. I'm saying it's a debate. It's a debate because you're saying one thing and I'm saying something slightly different. But if you try to go back to the text to prove the text by the text, you're in a loop. And that loop creates space. And that space creates misunderstanding.
That was the old rustic. I always use the King James version because no matter how many translations I read, I always go back to the King James. If I read it in another version,
truly problematic version of the Bible, but it's the one that we most listen to.
You know, most people read the one that I don't like is the NIV. I'm like, why y'all?
Well, yeah, that's the newest thing that they've done. But it's like the problem. Well, it's not the newest. There's other versions. But the thing was, the King James version became difficult for people to understand because it's written in prose and it's also written in Old English. So even though it's a heightened Old English, so it's much easier for us to understand than the original Old English texts that were out there. NIV just basically says, hey, I'm going to make this plain speak. My concern with NIV and like the new Amplified version,
away scriptures. I'm like, why y'all gonna take away that scripture? Why y'all gonna take it away?
Well, they're doing the exact same thing that the King James Bible did. It took it literally. Well, King James version actually removed whole books, but it took it and it streamlined some things and it changed some things. That happens every time you translate. And now you get these people who think they're so into the Bible. They in every concordance and they just in it. Hey, and they be like, well, I know what the original said. You don't know what the original said. You can read the words as best we can find from it, but you got to understand that the original Hebrew text that we can have access to is legitimately missing books. So you still can't do it. But then even if you could, You're trying to understand the context of an age 2,000 years ago that you do not have the ability to relate to. So even your best interpretation is off, right? You can have a good understanding of the spirit of the text, but to actually understand the words in the text and to pick up the context of the text, you can't accurately do it. That's why you have so many people studying it, and they all have slightly different interpretations.
Yeah, yeah. We're gonna move on and to the next subject. Only because I want to move. I want to talk about questions about the Senate race in Texas. And I have some questions that I don't think people are asking. And I don't know why people have. You guys see? Okay, y'all. Apparently, my blood sugar is high, which is why I keep hearing this stupid beep, beep, beep.
We can't hear it.
Oh, well, I can. It's annoying me. So I want to ask some questions that nobody asked. And so I had to call on some of my friends with the Texas Green Party. I was like, do y'all know who James Tallarico is? And they were like, no. They knew who Jasmine Crockett was. They were like, we know who she is. We don't
If they don't
like
know
her.
who James Tallarico is, then they are not the right ones to be asking the question about.
Well, I don't know no Texas Democrats. I only know Texas.
I know. I'm saying, if you're in Texas and you're a political person or politically minded, if you're a Green Party person, then you should. Third party people should be a little bit more politically minded than the most of the people, because most people are just mindlessly wandering through life anyway. At least third parties were like, "Yo, I don't agree." Right?
Yeah, but what? Yeah, that I was like, yeah. It's like, no, he's a state rep.
Yes.
And if you went through who has more national pull, obviously Jasmine gonna win it. Let me backtrack because this is wrong. I gotta address her by her proper title. Representative Crockett has
Former
more
representative.
national. She gonna be all right. Uh,
I agree.
um, has more of a national pull than James Tallarico. Yet she does. She just does. Now, do I like her sister girl? All this,
I
all
do.
that next. Yeah, I know you love it, but it irks my nerves. But
Could you elaborate on that? What is it about her demeanor that
I
that
just think she's cosplaying. I literally think I'm like, girl, you do not talk like that. You do not talk like that.
how is she cosplaying being herself? Is it because she
I
comes
don't
from
think.
wealth?
I think that's it.
Right. So that's something that I think is worthy of us as a community being honest with ourselves, because we don't even realize how steeped we are in respectability politics, that we think if you come from a family of means, which she does, right? She went to private schools her whole life. You know, she's very well educated. She's had the best of most things. Okay. Um, but that doesn't mean that she should talk any particular way. She talks how she
Yeah,
talks. She talks like a Texan. So, and there's different layers of fire, right? Different layers of what have you. So, like, what should she talk like? Should she talk like me? Should she talk like a white lady? Should she like? There's no right or wrong way to be black.
okay. I'm telling you what my perception is. I'm not saying that I could be totally wrong. I don't know her. Me and her, we not friends. I don't know her. I'm saying to me, I had the same problem as I had with Harris. I just couldn't relate. If there was nothing, and not because they're both Democrats, that just really that ain't it. Because
No, it's
I
because they're
that
black women.
no,
I promise you, it is. You know why I say this?
I promise you it is
Because
not. Because
Kamala.
I'm all the way on Nina Turner's camp. I'm all the way
Yes,
in Nina
and
Turner's
Nina
camp.
Turner has the same fire and spice that Jasmine Crockett does.
Oh
Now,
no,
but Kamala was different. Kamala did feel inauthentic, right? She felt like a person who would talk more proper, but thought she had to turn up her black credentials in order to be accepted in some way. And that's actually our fault, because
yeah,
as a
because it's
community, we were dissecting her, saying she wasn't black enough, just off the fact that she has blended parentage and she's married to a white man. Those things were enough for us to just instantly like zoom in on her. So she felt like in order to appeal to the larger black base, and she probably got this from her consultants. Stop, black folk out there in politics, stop listening to your consultant. If your consultant is, just stop.
I'm gonna have to agree with you there. You're not lying. Stop listening to them fools because they telling you wrong
They're
stuff.
messing you up.
But to me, I had to say I didn't feel like I'm gonna use this person, and then I'm gonna get to what my question is. When I hear Hillary Clinton talk, I'm just like everything in me just goes like I'm just like I don't like when I hear her talk. When I hear Marjorie Taylor Greene talk, I don't doubt that she believes everything she's saying.
Why?
I mean, she believes. I mean, she believes it. I disagree with the majority of what she says, but I know that she believes it. The same cautionary tale that I had with Jill Stein. When Jill Stein speaks, I have a hard time believing that she's being authentic. And for me, I can't define what it is, but it's something I can feel, right? It's something that, and I can't say, well, this is it. So when I hear Jasmine Crockett speak, it's not that what she's saying about Trump is not true. Everything she's saying about him is absolutely true. But I don't feel the authenticity. Now that could just be a me problem. I'm not
It's
saying
not
it's
just
not.
you, but I do suggest for those who feel that way, you really need to take a moment and do some deep introspection on why that is. Because I promise you, it's not what you're saying it is. I promise you. The
I don't think it's
expectations aren't
because
there.
she's black, because I greatly admire Claudia de la Cruz.
There's two
She's
different
black.
people.
No, but I'm saying, but it's sometimes I think, Claudia, you just went too far. But I know that she believes what she's saying. I need you to believe what you're saying.
But this is what I'm saying. The litmus test that we're applying to these people is unfair and in many cases irrational. Because
Oh, I'm not saying it's not, but I'm just telling you this is how I feel.
right, but
I'm not saying it's not
the
rational.
challenge isn't what you feel. The challenge is why you feel that, and yet you don't have that same type of a feeling or pause when you see someone like a Marjorie Taylor Greene. Because Marjorie is very much a caricature, right? She's trying to play the role of a Georgia country woman. Another great one, Kennedy, Senator Kennedy, out of, I think he's from Louisiana.
Yeah, he
This
don't talk.
man
He does not talk like that. I'm like,
that man
boy,
does
girl.
he did not talk
That,
like that until the last like 20 years. And now all of a sudden he sounds like Foghorn Leghorn, right? It's
but here is my point. Here is my point. I'm trying to get to my larger point. So here is what I think happened in the race. I'm gonna start off with Jeff. Girl, you got to have a campaign manager. You cannot, and I tell every third party candidate to I'm my own campaign man. You got to be a fool. You've got to be a fool to be your own campaign manager. You playing in these streets. You already know um um that people are going to come after you. You got to have a staff, a press person, a campaign. You got to have a staff. First mistake. Second mistake, and I have to agree now. I watched the Tim Black show, and he played a clip of Gary Chambers.
that man is deeply problematic, but go ahead.
He played a clip of Gary Chambers, who ran in Louisiana, and he was like, "Well, what's her mistake?" And I actually agree with what he said. He said that she didn't pivot to just running on a black agenda. And this is why I have to agree with it. No, let me tell you why I agree with it. And I promise I'm gonna let you talk. But if there were 1 million black Texans that did not vote in this past primary, if she had gotten those 1 million black Texans, not Hispanic Texans, not white Texans, not so you go disagree. I'm saying she could have ran away with that primary. If she had just, I'm gonna stick to this black agenda, I'm gonna stay on it, I'm not gonna veer from it. Thirdly, I think that dark money played a huge role in this, and let me tell you why. James Tallarico said, "Oh, I don't take APAC money." Well, that's true. He didn't take listed APAC money,
Mhm.
but if you look on his open secrets, he got a lot of dark money from the same group that gave to Trump. And the Jasmine's campaign never brought that up. I'm like, why aren't you? You got to bring it up. It's right there. I think that they put their money on him because he's easier to beat. Now, do I think a Democrat in Texas is going to win the Senate race? Probably not. I mean, if they did, I would just laugh at them because I'd be like, ha, just what you get. Because I just think their reign in Texas is fun. But I think they picked between the two candidates and said, let's put our money with him because he's easier to beat than her. Now, can I prove anything I'm saying? Nope, I cannot. But that's what ultimately I think happens. They picked the candidate that they thought, okay, we can beat this person in November because he did not have a black agenda. He never went to the black churches. He never went to the sororities. He never went to the fraternities. He took ads out in Hispanic papers. He had ads in Spanish. I didn't see, and of course, I don't live in Texas, but I didn't see the same effort. Now you may speak and tell me why you disagree with everything I just said.
I do disagree with your assessment, but I'll come at it this way. I am perfectly fine. I said this before and I'll say it now. Perfectly fine with either Jasmine or James becoming the nominee for the Democratic Party in Texas. They both serve the exact same function in my view. So I could care less. Um, I do care deeply for Jasmine because that's my sister and I am very pro black. But being pro black doesn't make me blind and it doesn't make me divorce myself from tactical awareness for what you're trying to do. I don't believe that Jasmine played to win. Um, Ways that I would say that she didn't play to win is, like you said, she didn't have an official campaign manager. That's like the bare bones
That's the
of
bare minimum.
structuring a national campaign. I know you're running for the state of Texas, but this was a national campaign. Make no mistakes about it. And so
But she
that,
had one in her congressional run. That's why I was like, but you had one when you was running for Congress, but you didn't think, oh, I'm going to take a step up.
so that's why, first of all, there are things that are happening behind the scenes that we simply aren't privy to. Okay. But I don't believe she was playing to win, mainly because she allowed herself to get put into a corner. She allowed herself to be the black candidate, not the candidate that's black. And when you do that, especially running in a state like Texas, and you have national ID, that becomes deeply problematic for her. So, like you said, well, she should have ran hard for the black vote. She basically did. The black vote was hers. So the problem wasn't that black people didn't want to vote for her. If you're going to look at the black community, you need to look at why didn't we show up to vote?
That's where I was
Okay.
getting to. You
That's
had a million
that's not
Texans
on
that just
her.
said,
Yeah,
yeah,
that
that's
ain't
not
on
on
her.
her.
That's on us. Okay. So you got to look at that. And part of that, I think, is as a collective, we've largely tapped out of this round of politics. But when you do that, there's consequences. And one of the consequences is the candidate that needs you the most doesn't have you, right? The other part of this is because she was the black candidate, and everybody knows that she's pro-black. So, from James Tallarico's position, how do I play to win? Do I waste energy and money chasing a demographic in the state that is already pretty much locked in? Like, if all the black people showed up to vote, because this is how they have to think when they're running. Let's say all the eligible black voters showed up to vote. Who are they going to vote for? They're going to vote for me, the white guy who looks like all of their problems, or are they going to vote for the black woman? right? Who has a lot of name ID and that is very well loved. Okay, I'm not getting that vote. Okay, she's going to get 80%. I can maybe fight for 20% of a small population. That's not much. That's not worth it. But what I can do is I can look at the fact that in this current climate, there is a clear rift between all of the minority groups. So Black folks and Latinos, especially on the West Coast, are very much at odds with each other. So if she's got the Black vote, that automatically puts the Latino vote up for grabs. I'm basically the only other option they have as long as I don't screw this up. So he played that angle. He also looks like every evangelical's youth pastor. So he's got the white vote that are not conservatives, right? So if you're white, Christian, or just white, and progressive or Democratic leaning, he has the inside straight on your vote because he's not threatening. He doesn't come across as threatening. He has that creepy evangelical youth pastor vibe, right? He's always talking and you know,
no bass in his voice,
right? So he played to win, and then you also have the national dynamic. Nationally, the money is going to follow by who do they think that they can not only get the most out of, but who do they put their money behind that they think can actually win? And everybody, including Black voters, think the white person has the edge over the Black person in nearly every race because of race. So guess where the money's going to go? It's going to go to the white guy, right? So everything was stacked against Jasmine in this race, even though she's a sitting member. Well, she was a sitting member of Congress.
But she still is till 2027.
Okay, so she's a sitting member of Congress, and the only reason she's losing her seat is because of political gamesmanship, which should make all the Democrats rally behind her. But like I said, she got maneuvered into this corner where she's the Black candidate, which means does she rep me? No, she's actually got speeches where she's blaming white men for everything that's wrong in the world. Well, guess what? I don't want to vote for that if I'm a white guy, right? So there's so many things that were going on. And so I get where Black people are coming from, but we really need to be more tactical about what we're trying to do. So my hope is, now that she has lost this particular race, that we don't let her just fade and become like another Nina, because Nina is very niche now. So this can very easily happen to Jasmine, or she can end up on the talk show circuit, or she'll end up with an MS Now TV show or something like that.
That's what I think is going to happen. Right? Oh, she's going to run for something, and I'm going to tell you what I think she's going to run for, but you go ahead.
No, I just think that this is what has happened, and as a community, we're so far away from this, but I really hope we get there. We have to get to the point where we can absorb our own. We can identify those who are our best fighters, who really do champion our cause. She was a little rough around the edges, but she was good. She's a great lawyer. She's very good at communicating and carrying her point. She will strategically work you into a circle and have you telling on yourself. Same thing Kamala Harris was great at doing. And what happens? You're not Black enough, or you're too Black, and then we just take our hands off of you. And that's what's happened.
I think the core question you got to is, why didn't those million Black people show up? What was it about? Was it her that they didn't show up, or they're just like, I don't. What do you mean by that?
We don't have high participation rates as a collective when it comes to voting, and we're highly targeted. Texas has many things that it's been doing over the last 5 years to target us to make it even harder for us to vote. That's how they cracked and restacked her district, right? So you have that.
Okay, so I would think, because Tracy just thinking out loud, wouldn't that make me want to vote more? Like, if you're going to come after my voting rights, I'm going to go vote. I'm like, I'll show you.
You don't, because That's not how human nature works, and it's definitely not how our community works. Because by all rights, we should be the most politically engaged and enraged group in this country, right? Every freedom, every advancement we have had in this country, we literally had to spill blood to get it. Every single one. And the only way that we were able to protect some of those advancements was the government had to pass laws. Otherwise, we would be constantly in the same fight. So we, more than any other group, should be very engaged. But what is common? We know this is common in our community. We are always having to wrestle the argument of should I bother voting? They're not listening to me no way. My vote doesn't matter. Blah, blah, blah. All these little crazy things that we say, we're always fighting that battle. So, yeah, we should do better, but we have a lot of reasons why we don't do better. And we don't have a lot of people explaining how we can do things better. And I'll say this now and I'll stop. I haven't said it often, but it's something I used to say anyway. The problem in our community when it comes to voting is that we're incorrectly assessing the problem. Voting is not the problem. How we vote is the problem, right? So it's not the act of voting. That's easy. Of those who vote, roughly 85 to 90% of us vote for the Democrats. Okay, that's an action. Very, it's commendable, yay, whatever. But that's one of those of us who vote, we do that. But we're not voting the right way because we don't work together so that we can make demands. Right? We vote to be on the winning team, even though the winning team don't care about
Ain't
us.
for us in the first place. And I think we talked about this last week to take this in a national context. But then you got someone like our least favorite politician, James Clyburn. Bruh, let me take this. Why you running again? Why are you running?
Why wouldn't he?
He has one of the poorest. He may probably win again. And this is what infuriates me. South Carolina district. First of all, he coordinated with the Republicans to make sure that district was drawn so he could win it. First problem.
He's black royalty.
He's been in Congress since 1990. Like, I was a little bit out of high school when he was in office. Mm-hmm. High school. Mm-hmm. Let me tell you how long that's been. You know how long it's been since I stepped.
That's our fault.
That's what I'm getting at. We get what we vote for. And when we don't vote, then we got the complaint. No, you got to take part in the process to make the complaint. Because if you show up and then you don't get what you want, at least you can say, well, I voted wrong, and next time I'm going to vote for this person. But you just sitting at home, well, I'm not going to do nothing because they don't listen.
That right there is the thing. So that's why I was saying, like, it's not voting isn't wrong. It's how we're voting that's wrong. So it's not enough to just participate, because this is why you lose people who don't vote. This is why you can't get them to come vote, because the message that they receive from people like us is the least you can do is go vote, right? But what's the point of me participating in a broken and a rigged system? You're telling me it's broken. You're telling me it's rigged. So you're also now telling me to voluntarily go and just participate in something that I know is broken and corrupt. It's a terrible argument, where what needs to be conveyed is a plan, right? So, all right, James Clyburn is running for the House seat again. Been in there for 30 years. Okay. What has he delivered, not just for his district, but what has he done for his state, and what has he done for his people in the last 15 years? Just give him a window. And the answer to that is really going to be nothing. He's gotten richer. He's gotten more power. He's probably the richest black man in the area. Okay. But if you want to get a non-voter to engage, you need to tell them, okay, so this is how we beat him. We're going, this candidate over here, we're going to get behind him. This is their platform. This is what they say they are going to bring into this district. This is their number one priority. We're pushing this person to unseat Clyburn. And then the black vote gets behind that, and the national black energy gets behind that. You got Roland Martin saying it. You got Pastor Jamal Bryant saying it. You got all these people pushing and rowing in the same direction. And now you don't have Clyburn again, right? But what we want to do instead is just admonish. And I do a bit of this because I do this to you guys as third-party people. We just want to admonish you for wasting your vote. But at the same time, and I do agree, you are kind of wasting your vote presently. But the ones who are still voting for the Democrats or whatever, we're also wasting our vote because we're not making demands. So
there you go. That's what it is. If you just gonna vote Democrat, and I tell my Democrat friends this all the time, if you just gonna keep voting for them no matter what, at least ask for something. And then when they don't deliver, primary them. Primary them. Well, you can. Yes, you can.
Yes, you can.
That I would if the Democratic Party is ever going to get somebody like me back, I doubt that it would happen. That's what needs to happen. It's like, okay, you want to sit around and act like a fool. Okay, we're going to primary you and see how this works. That's what we're going to do. But nobody wants to. He's been in there a long time and blah, 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 blah. And name something he's done. Name any legislation he's authored. Anything he's promulgated before. I can't, and I don't even live in South Carolina.
Other than their non-black funders, okay, because let's just be real. If you've been there that long, Maxine, love you, but you from San Francisco, I know the money that's holding you in office ain't us.
Los Angeles.
Right? Oh, Los Angeles. But all the money that's holding you in there, that ain't just us. All right. So these gatekeepers that have been there for a long time, they're there now because they are taking care of themselves and they're taking care of their families. And I mean, hey, all right, cool. There's a dirty game and you learn how to play it. All right. That's fine for you. But for us, the voters, that's not okay, or it shouldn't be okay. So now the only thing we as a black community still hold like ownership of is the Congressional Black Caucus. And if we want to affect that, we need to decide who gets to be in that, right? We should have rallied behind Jasmine. And the way to rally behind Jasmine was not to make her the black candidate. The way to rally behind her was to identify her as the black candidate for us, but work in partnership with all the rest of her constituency that would be inclined to support her. That means we would have been working with our Latino cousins and brothers and sisters. We would have been working with our white brothers and cousins and sisters, right? That's how you support a person like Jasmine Crockett. You don't support her by saying you better have a black agenda as the senator of a primary election in a red state. I don't need you to say, I need you to say it amongst us, like get the word out a little bit amongst us, but out there in them streets, I need you to be tactical, right? I need you to make sure that you're representing all these people because you need all their votes and you can't just phone it in. So I don't understand why. Well, I do kind of understand. It's frustrating for me why, as in our community, the black community, that we think we have more power than we do. Run the numbers. We are a diminishing minority. We are no longer the second. We're no longer the largest minority. We're no longer the second largest minority. We're now third.
Yep.
Who listens to third place, man?
Nobody that I know.
So why do you think, not you, but why do you think you can send somebody in there and say, just rep for us? That's a doomed thing. It makes you feel good inside, right? It gives you the warm and fuzzies.
I
But it
do
ain't gonna
need
give you
I
nothing.
do need somebody to rep for reparations though.
You
I
do.
need that.
You need a party to rep for reparations. You don't need a candidate because the candidate can get ostracized and put in a corner. You need 10 candidates who are committed to reparations, but they're not talking about it every day. They're talking about how do we take care of America? They're talking about how do I take care of this state? They're talking about how do I take care of this jurisdiction? That's what you need. And then if you get enough of them in there, now you have 20, 30, 40 who can now work with their partners of other interests and push for the reparations that you want. But we want the dude to put the sign around their neck.
Now I do think and I didn't think about some of what you're saying. I get it, but here's what I'll say, and we about to move to football news, so you can put your ears over your head because I got some
Hope they all lose.
majors announcements that I am so, as a 49er fan, I am so happy about it. So I'm gonna get to it, and then we're gonna, because I know Fizz hates football, what you said would go away. So
Are the Oilers
Mike
still a
Evans,
team?
they're now called the Houston Texans.
Oh.
So the San Francisco 49ers, the soon-to-be six-time world champion San Francisco 49ers, have signed one of the top wide receivers in the league, Mike Evans. Yes, that Mike Evans that used to play with Tampa Bay. Yeah, I thought this was a joke. I'm like, y'all got to be joking. And Greenlaw is back. Yeah, yeah. Seattle, that little thing y'all did to us. Yes, y'all beat us 41-6, but them days they over. They are over. They over and done because it ain't gonna be like that in 2026. And
Tracy, did you
yes,
say the sixth time?
I know we've only won 5. I said soon to be 6 times.
Oh, okay, because I just did a Google and they ain't
We've
won a
been
Super Bowl since VHS.
But we've been to 3 Super Bowls, but we lost all those 3.
They ain't won
We've been,
since VHS.
but we've been to them. A lot of teams ain't even been.
I,
I'm not trying to
I wasn't
listen to
even
this.
in college the last time they won
It was
a Super Bowl.
90,
95.
soon to be 6. So soon to be the soon to be.
31 years. 31 years.
But
Whoa.
been to the Super Bowl, which meant we had a chance. We just let Kansas City come back, and then we let Baltimore, because a lot of stuff happened. We was in the Super Bowl 3 years ago, but then we lost.
They bought some tickets. So they were in the stands. I'm with you.
But again, and get this, everybody, the 49ers, wait a minute. I'm going to get to Nelson's comment here in just a moment because now he's going to switch. Are going to be playing the Los Angeles Rams in Australia. Yes, there will be, so the season, it will not start on the game that will start in September on Thursday is now going to be Wednesday. So we'll have Wednesday night where the Seattle Seahawks will probably play the New England Patriots because they always do that where the two teams that met in the Super Bowl, they play each other. And then San Francisco will play. This is the first time I know that the NFL is coming to Australia. So big, 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 big news. Just had to get that out of there. Just happy that Greenlaw's back. Um, there's some um rumblings that Crosby could be coming to the Niners. I believe when I see it. I don't want Bosa. I'm not a Nick Bosa fan. I can't,
I
bro.
don't know
No.
no names.
But no. So Nelson says we need Fizz to run third-party socialized democracy candidate in Congress or Senate.
I
And
don't know
you
about
just
that. So
you just okay. So yeah, I said what I was going to talk about, and of course I've changed my mind. So I want to talk about something I didn't even think about. Um, the Target protests. So if you've been paying attention to any of the news, Pastor Jamal Bryant of, I think it's called New Birth Missionary Baptist Church. Like, you church, when you say the church that they pastor and nobody cares, but that's just me. Okay, so he announced that the Target protest was over. It
And
wasn't over.
then
And then he did come back and say I was wrong. He did. So we're gonna give him grace because he did say I was wrong. He did say I was wrong. The protest isn't over. But people questioned it. Um, they questioned one, um,
who was you to say
who
when
made
something's over?
that was the first question. And then second, second was, did Target pay him to say it was over?
Oh Lord, our people. Oh my God, our people.
So I'm gonna let Theus kind of talk about this because I have some thoughts.
Oh, my people, my people. I love you so much, but come on, can we do better, please? Stop with this gut knowledge, gut reaction, no thinking responses. Okay, so all right, I'm already in the minority with this. I supported the boycott only because I support my people. Only reason. Because I don't think that boycotts make a whole lot of sense unless there's a lot of planning and there's discipline and there's a system running behind it. Okay. So you had Pastor Jamal Bryant, but you also had who's the black bishop? He does the Poor People's Campaign.
Bishop Barber.
All right. So you had Bishop Barber, and then you have a bunch of random, I call them random, but there are other people of note that were in the ecosphere, all championing this thing. And I felt at that time that if you're going to have a boycott must have structure and it must have a demand. And if it has a demand, you have to be able, willing, and ready to act if they satisfy your demands, right? So we never had a demand. The entire boycott was about punishing them. That was it. You violate, like you said you were going to pledge this money. You didn't really do it. Then you backed off of DEI too quick. And so now we're going to show you how much you really do need us, right? And so boycott was called. But even then, my problem with this whole boycott thing was, why did you choose Target instead of choosing Walmart? Walmart has abused our people as employees. Walmart has run more black businesses out of business than any other big major retailer other than maybe Amazon. Walmart was really fast to get rid of DEI, but we chose Target because it's easier to attack your friend than it is to attack your enemy, because you know your enemy doesn't care, right? That'd be like criticizing Trump. You know he doesn't care, so criticizing him doesn't really do much. But you can criticize Biden because he'll at least kind of listen to you, so he'll feel the punishment. So we attacked Target. When we did that, that actually hurt a lot of black entrepreneurs, and our response to them was suck it up for the good of the people, right? The people need this. I understand there's a few black businesses that'll be hurt, but this is for the movement. All right. That was our message to our entrepreneurs who were hurt by the Target protest. That's the wrong answer. There should have been structure in place so that when we call for this boycott, we could identify our big players that were in Target, because Target is one of the only major retailers that put our products in their store specifically for us, branded it in such way that you knew were black products, and yet that's what we chose to target. Cool. Well, what we should have done is we should have made sure somebody in this organizing space should have made sure we had ways to continue to buy their products, and we had ways to help them continue to have warehousing so that they can stage their products so that we could buy their products. We did not plan, and we didn't have a demand. A demand says, we're boycotting you unless you do this, this, and this. And if you do 2 out of 3 or you do all 3, then we will do this. Never had that. So why in the world, 2 years later, are we still boycotting Target and we still haven't moved on to another Target, right? We still haven't moved to Dollar Tree. We haven't moved to Walmart. We haven't moved to Amazon. We haven't moved anywhere. We're just focusing on doubling down on Target. We should literally be done with Target at this point. We made our point to them. Okay. Now let's move to the next one and show these major we did. We're a small group. It wasn't like we were going to break them anyway, but we did impact their bottom line.
The reason that I'm asking that is Target didn't reinstate their DEI.
They didn't. But we never had a demand. That wasn't the demand. We were only punishing them.
Because that's where I wanted, because I thought that was the demand.
No.
So you're
how
saying
how do you tell a corporation to do first of all, anybody? Okay, sorry. DEI, we know by now, it ain't even about us.
That's true.
We made DEI about us because we knew what it was really kind of about. We knew that this administration and those who support it were anti-Black, are anti-Black. So when they attacked DEI, we put our Captain Save 'em cape on and said that you're coming after us. When the reality is, yes, they were coming after us, but they were hurting everybody else more. Right? So we did that to ourselves in a way. But either way, the demand should have been that, right? Put your DEI programs back or something else. I don't know what the demands would have been because I wouldn't have chosen a boycott in the first place. But we should have had demands. And we should have had a council that makes these decisions on our behalf so that we would know who could cancel the boycott. So as soon as Pastor Jamal Bryant says it's over, I saw it was some lady that is prominent, but she's the one who said, no, it's not. Y'all should have had that worked out, right? It's
a bad look. The whole thing confused me because I'm sitting here thinking, okay, let me put it like this. I don't shop at Target in the first place. So it wasn't like, they stuff, it's like a higher Walmart. It's like, okay, like I'm not gonna go to Target like that. Maybe for like their bottled water is a little better than Walmart's water, but that's literally the only thing. I'm not like a Target shopper. Their clothes are so good. So when they said protest, I'm like, well, okay, I don't go no way. So, but that wasn't gonna be hard for me to do. But I didn't it didn't even hit my head about the demands because the Montgomery bus boycott worked because they made a demand. Right? They said, okay, we're not riding your buses until Black people are allowed to sit anywhere. And then they made plans like, okay, we'll take the bus, we'll take another bus, we'll take cabs, we'll walk, we'll do this, we'll do this. And they didn't. It's just like I'm now getting it because it wasn't like they said, hey,
I'm just
Tabitha
mad.
Brown. Yeah, Tabitha Brown's products are featured in Target stores. They could have said, hey, go directly to her website. Just go directly to, here are all the Black people's products that are carried in Target. Here are their websites. Go to their websites, but don't go to Target to buy.
And that kind of happened. It kind of happened. But the problem was she spoke out first. And she tried to tell us, hey guys, here's an aspect of this thing that you may not have considered, right? Like I worked hard, meaning her. I worked hard and those like me worked really hard to get into Target to have the placement that we have. And when you boycott them, please be aware. And she even said, please be aware, I'm with you, but please be aware that we're the collateral damage. And because she said that, the simplicity, the simple-minded emotional reaction was to make her Boule all of a sudden. Now she's a sellout because she was saying you're going to hurt me, right? No, what we
That's
should
just
have
common
done,
sense.
yeah, what we should have done is what you just said. We should have we as a community, we should have found which ones of us own warehouse space. And now she can have her products staged there at whatever cost so that now she still is able to fulfill orders. We didn't do that. So now when they were told, hey guys, you can still order through her online, she can't meet the demand. She has nowhere to put the products, right? Target, part of having Target is not what you see on the shelf. Part of having Target is Target will buy buku
Yeah, they'll buy in
units,
bulk, basically.
right? There's warehouses you ain't even seen because as you buy that candle off the shelf, somebody's shipping a candle to the store. So it was so much that went into it, but we were not well led, and we're not as a general rule, we're not business focused. So our emotional triggers were played with. And I just feel like the leaders owed the people more. It didn't owe me more because I feel like I think different than most people. But you do owe the people that you know don't know. And they failed us. And then to now, like I said, this late in the day, talk about we still boycotting Target. Well, what are your demands? What do they still need to do for you?
Because I know there's three of them. I know it's Pastor Bryant, Nina Turner, and the other one.
Bishop Barber, and then some lady.
No, Bishop Barber is supporting it, but he's not a part. It's like three. Eh. Takia Mallory, the one that said that Kamala should be president. Oh gosh, I can see her face and I can't think of her name. Y'all help me. Because it was at that press conference, and I'm like, well, wait a minute. Why is you
Nakima Levy Armstrong?
No, she was the one that was speaking out. She's the one that said, how dare you say the protest is over? Nobody told you to say that.
Monique Colors Doty?
No.
Jaylani Hussein?
Nope.
See, there's too many names. Who's in charge?
Who coordinated the Target protest?
Reverend Jamal Harrison Bryant organized a meeting.
But it was, oh man.
Yeah, it's all a big thing. But I mean, but here's a great thing. Why, while I don't agree with the boycott, I do think that it taught me something. And it proved me wrong in a respect, because the boycott is, to my view, disorganized. It lacks direction and it lacks coherent leadership. But I credit the boycott for the solidarity that we are seeing in our community right now. So the boycott showed a lot of us what you can accomplish if you work together. So
okay, I got her name. It's Tamika Mallory.
Okay.
That's who I was thinking of.
And see, I don't know who that is, but
it was her, Pastor Bryant, and Nina Turner.
But if I remember correctly, though, Pastor Bryant didn't start this. He came to it late. He became the face of it. But he ain't start this, right? It was truly a grassroots type of thing, I think. But behind the scenes, they should have started coordinating. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, guys. But they didn't.
Okay, so you said they didn't. That Target has made. Target has made some type of apology, but it hasn't been public. And one of their demands is to make that apology public. But what did that do? Okay, that's not really a demand.
Right. Say
Not to
sorry
me.
where we can all hear you. I mean, that's valuable, but to what extent? All right, that gets to another one of my pet peeves because I believe in uncentering whiteness.
And the protest was only supposed to be a 40-day fast from
Correct.
Target. There's been you're right, it has been 2 years.
Yep.
Like, what did y'all accomplish? And of course, the questions, because Facebook be Facebooking, did he get paid? And
That to me, that's just some ignorant stuff.
I 1,000,000% agree with you.
Yeah. Those are people who are reacting purely emotional and they haven't really thought it through. And that's cool. I get it. But people slow down a little bit. Here's what I would say to you. Once again, I know I'm coming from a different lens, Tracy, but I'm coming from just straight up pro-black. This is how I move type thing, right? Before you attack or openly criticize any black leader, pause. Not you. Pause. As a community, this is what we need to do. Pause. Now, sometimes people are worthy of being criticized, and I say criticize them, right? But before you do it, pause. Don't do your enemy's work for them. The thing about our community, unfortunately, is because we feel like we have so much at risk, and because we feel like we work so hard, and because we feel like we've been through so much, we are the first to tear you apart if we feel you have brought shame or confusion to us. If you're prominent.
They treated Tabitha Brand. All she was saying was, hey, I'm with you. I understand.
Yep.
And boy, they called her a sellout. Well, they called her another word, but
they called her a lot of things. Yeah.
Then I'm like, but she got to look out for her employees.
And not only that, but it's like she did what we say we want our people to do. Right? Now, that doesn't mean they're doing it perfectly. But like, what's that dude's name? Tyler Perry. Okay. I don't like his product. I ain't never enjoyed his content. But this is a man who literally has done what we told our people you're supposed to do. He started from nothing, stayed on the grind, stayed positive, built a brand, became a multi-millionaire, started putting other people on, built studios, got a lot of black people with jobs making good money. What else you want this man to do? Did he do it perfect? No, probably not. Definitely not. But who among us has done half of what he's done?
Shoot, we still making movies with our Android phones.
So it's like, people, please pause, right? Save our anger for who we should be angry at. Whatever the situation is, look at who does it help, who does it hurt, who gets paid. Ask yourself those three questions. Who does it hurt? Who does it help? Who gets paid? That will help you identify what you're supposed to be mad at. People mad at Jasmine because she's got too much of the homegirl vibe. People are mad at Cory Booker because he cries too much. People are mad.
Come on, Fizz. He cried too much. He
does.
Ain't got no faith in his voice.
But we can't turn Cory Booker into the bad guy, even though he's a bit corrupt. But you can't turn him a bit, because no, you got to measure him across his peer group. And he's not as corrupt as a resident senator sitting up in that joint.
Well,
so
I'll give you that.
So you see what I'm saying? So it's like, he's worthy of criticism. He is worthy of being replaced. But right now, he is one of the only 4 or 5 people we have in there.
No, there's gonna be there are five, no, there are six United States senators that are well, okay, let's take away Tim Scott. There are
You can't take
five
him away. He's still black. He's just not
he's still
pro-black.
black. He's not pro-black. There it is. He's not pro-black. So there are six now. There's about to be a seventh
Okay.
because and her name, I can't think of her name, but she just won the Illinois because Dick Durbin is retiring. And the former lieutenant governor of Illinois, she ran
Okay.
and blew it right away. It's pretty much she's going to win.
So
So that will
now,
make
so let's frame this. All right. 7 senators. That's a high
six.
watermark. Huh?
Six.
Okay, 6. I know, but Tim is still he's
we said it was a pro-black agenda.
I understand, but my thing, okay, this is a different point, but we got to flood the zone, right? And we got to have allies and friends. And Tim is like neither, right? But he is a perfect example of he's still black. Like you don't lose being black no matter what you do. No
That's
matter what
true.
you do. Right? He still has to deal with racism, even if he pretends it's not there. He still got family members being subjected to this nonsense. He is still black. He's just lost. And in my opinion, too lost to go get. But he's still ours. And if we keep throwing everybody away, that's not a smart play. What we need to do is get more in. So 7, I think, is a high watermark, but okay, we'll round down. We'll go 6. 6 then is like a high watermark. Out of 100 senators, that's 6%.
That's 6%.
6%.
I agree.
You ain't running nothing.
Nope.
But what 6% can do is work on issues that have direct or even indirect benefit to our community. So now you start working with the Native American lady who's in there. Ain't but one of her. You can work with her. You can work with some of these Latinos. You can work with some of the LGBTQIA white senators in there. You can work together and create a coalition for overlapping things that you care about and get it done. But you're not going to get there. You're not going to pass any reparations package whatsoever with 6%.
Or 7, or 8, or 9.
Yeah, you got to be up there, right?
I can't name 80 senators right now.
Oh no, but and this is one of my little criticisms for some of you third partiers. And this is going to be a bone of contention as I move into the third party space. You can't be more angry at the people who fail to stop the bad thing than you are angry at the people doing the bad thing. At the end of the day, 48 Democrats, but there's 52 senators, and I think my numbers off. I think it's 56 senators, but
yeah, I was going to say 56.
Yeah, so it's 56 senators that are doing all this mayhem, plus one because you got Fetterman. So
we didn't give Fetterman no love. I think we done dragged that man through the mud.
But you got the dude ain't right. So you got 56, 57 senators who are actively doing all of the chaos and allowing for all the chaos that we see amongst ourselves. That's who you should be mad at.
And wait a minute, we may get another United States senator that's black coming from the state of Kentucky. There are 2 black males running, one Republican, one Democrat. The former do-nothing prosecutor in the what was her name? She got killed in her own home. She was a security guard. She got killed in her own home in Kentucky.
Oh, that guy, that I know you're talking about. Breonna Taylor.
Whatchamacallit. He's running for United States Senator, and he's probably going to win. He's probably going to win the Republican nomination. And then on the Democratic side, here comes all Hades freezing over because you're going to find me uh, supporting a Democrat. His name is Charles Booker. Let me tell you something about Charles Booker. He is probably one of the only two Democrats. Well, no, now there's three. He's one of the three Democrats I would proudly, absolutely, positively have. You will not get on this here show and talk about Charles Booker, period. He is right on. You know, when I said I got those 5 issues. If you ain't for
What
these
did he do
five, I
so
ain't
great
vote
other
for.
than being young and successful?
Huh?
What did he do other than being young and successful? It's
Charles,
like
I
he's a
never said anything about him being young and successful.
no, he is. He's a House rep.
No, I didn't say that. I said he's one of the few Democrats I would actually vote for and support and like
Mm,
give money to his campaign. Because
mm.
when I look at the 5 issues that I say are important to me, he agrees with all 5. You know
Okay.
how hard that is to reparations, universal health care,
Mhm.
um, stop spending money in these useless wars. He doesn't take campaign contributions from. I'm like him, and now I got to add Pastor Frederick Haynes. I'm like, wait a minute, y'all trying to get me back in the Democratic Party?
I won't vote for any if I know you.
I know how you feel about it, but he's on them. I think
Well, I
he.
can't say that. I might do it, but I don't think that a member of the clergy should be in national office.
I think we both have the same hesitation. However, he also meets that 5 criteria. So you're gonna have 2 black males in Kentucky. So now that adds an 8 if you count Tim Scott.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like the dude that was the prosecutor cat. He's corrupt, which is probably why he's a Republican. Um, but okay, he's still black. He just ain't the best representation of us. But he's
Yep.
still ours. He's still ours.
And lastly, I know you're going to say you centering whiteness, but I got to talk about the Oscars. I got it. So I'm going to
Mm.
make a wider point, and then I'm going to make a why don't we have our own award shows? Because we actually do as black people have our own award show. It's called the NAAC Image Awards.
We also have like a couple other ones too, don't we?
We have a couple of ones, but the main one is the NAACP Image Award. That's the main one. So um I want everybody black who I know to get over the fact Sinners was not going to win all 16 Academy Award nominations. It was not going to happen. It
I
was
still ain't
not
watched it.
going to happen. I actually watched half because I don't watch like best animation short, best uh costume.
Oh no, I said I have never seen the movie. I never watched the Oscars.
Yeah, I haven't seen it either, but everybody who's seen it has told me, even white people, like this movie is really good. It doesn't appeal to me, one, because it's horror. I hate horror. I cannot stand when I heard vampires, I was like, I'm done. No, that's not gonna be for me, but apparently it's really good. So I wanted everybody black to get over it was not gonna win 16 awards. It was not gonna happen. Get over it, suck it up, buttercup. Wasn't gonna happen.
Do people really think that we supposed to just win everything?
There are people that think if a black person wins, even if they're less talented, they should win.
Mm.
And you'd be like, no. However, the movie, okay, so Ryan Coogler, who I admire, he won for best original screenplay. And I did have a little tear coming out of my eye. But what surprised me was Michael, and I'm gonna get his name right this time, Michael B. Jordan winning an Oscar. I did not think he was gonna. I was like, no, it's not gonna win. Because sometimes his acting is suspect. I'm like,
They're
sometimes
trying
he's
to
good.
make well, they not even trying. He is our black actor right now. We don't usually get because Idris is aged out. So Michael is we only get like one or two at a time. Like yeah,
Talking about
Denzel.
Idris is only like 53.
I understand, but his shine is starting to fade.
Now you
Especially
want
now
to
that we're
talk
having the
about
whole FBA nonsense going on. So Yeah,
Oh, well, he's British, so he's not even in the FBA discussion.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So I think it's. I mean, Idris is still Idris. He's an incredible actor, kind of like
You talking about my
Denzel.
husband like that? You talking about my husband? We're gonna have to fight.
Okay, well,
To fight.
Denzel, Idris, Michael B. Those are the ones. Like who else we got? So those are Grandpa, Pops, Heartthrob. Those are your three layers right there. What you got? We
That's true. But then I started realizing, I was like, because to me, sometimes his acting, like he is not Denzel Washington,
No, he's not a
in
great
my
actor.
opinion.
Will
And
Smith
I'm
is
like,
infinitely better actor than he is.
that's what I think. But I'm like, okay, I want to, apparently he really, like the crowd went, I mean, everybody was cheering his name and they were really happy he won because he did play two roles and that is very difficult to do. I'm gonna give him his props. He's still not better than Mahershala. He's still not better than Will. He's still not better than Forrest. He's still not better than
But he's great in his own right.
in his own right. I was really surprised he ran. But what kind of woke me up to this, we got to do better, is there's only 7 Black actors that have ever won an Academy Award for Best Actor, not supporting. And then Holly Berry is the only Black female that has ever won for Best Lead. And people say actress, but I say actor female because I will not call a woman an actress. I won't do it. I ain't gonna do it. Not gonna happen. It's a theater thing. I cannot call a woman an actress. It's just like she's an actor. She is an actor.
Kick it old school. Call her a thespian then. I don't know.
So she's the only one. I thought, no, Monique, because Monique won for Precious, another movie you haven't seen.
I refuse to watch it. I don't watch that. To me is horror porn. That's what that is to me.
It was so good. I'm like,
no. I don't like tragic movies. That's just there was
oh well, yeah.
no positive coming out. It's like for Colored Girls. Ain't nothing good coming out of it. Why? No.
Yep. And I think about like the people like Sidney Poitier.
Well, he was a trailblazer.
First one. I mean, the last Black actor to win an Oscar for lead was Will Smith.
Okay.
And before Will Smith, it was Jamie Foxx. And before Jamie Foxx, it was Forrest Whitaker. Because Denzel won for Training Day, and that's not even a good movie. I'm like, that movie was terrible.
They gave it to him because he was overdue. They should have gave it to him many, many times. And so he played a bad guy, and they say that showed his range.
No, they gave it to him because they screwed up for not giving it to him for Malcolm X, the one that he should have won an Oscar for.
You should have won an Oscar for many things. I think he got Best Supporting Actor Oscar for Glory.
He was supporting in Glory, Philadelphia. He was supporting. Yeah, he's won 3. He's got 3 Oscars, but one as Best Leading. Yeah. That was that terrible movie, Training Day.
But my thing about it, the whole thing is like, look, I understand within the business, this is like, it's not even just winning the Oscar, it's what it does in theory, what it's supposed to do for you. Right? It's supposed to get you better roles, right? Because you're like now one of the it things because you got an Oscar.
Yeah,
but it doesn't always translate.
You just thought about that because Taraji Henson was nominated for that movie with Brad Pitt where he aged backwards. I can't think.
Great.
Benjamin Buttons or something.
Okay.
Whatever that movie was called. Did it really improve her? Is she out here doing Shakespeare? Has she been in a lead movie that wasn't a Tyler Perry movie?
But she's a Black female, so the only and this is it's not a fair thing to say, but unfortunately, you have a very small sample size. For Black women to get an Oscar, you pretty much have to be a quote unquote bed wench, right? You have to be a sexual object. So Halle Berry did not get that Oscar until she played the role that she played with Billy Bob Thornton.
But Viola Davis got it for Fences, and she was nobody's sex object in that movie.
Fair enough. But
Monique got it, and she wasn't nobody's sex object in that
and what
movie.
happened to Monique?
Well, she messed up her own career.
I
She
mean,
messed
I
hers up
agree, but what happened to
by
her?
being difficult.
But what
She was
happened to her? Other people get to be difficult. She didn't get to be difficult. And I mean I agree with you in that, because I'm not a Monique fan, but that normally is supposed to catapult you into more roles. She has proven that she can act,
oh,
and
she absolutely is a fantastic actor.
yet they would not allow her to go through that door, right? So my thing is, and you already kind of touched on it, uncentering whiteness. So it's like, okay, if your product was good enough for this little group of insular people to decide you get to have an Oscar, great. I mean, I'm happy for you. But we should not place so much importance on it, right? Like the actors can place whatever importance they want to on it because it helps them in their career. It's like winning the national championship or something, right? So I get that. But as a community, we know how they slice and dice which ones of us even get the opportunity to compete for an Oscar. And part of this segment is about some of the intricacies and back and forths and so forth about why we don't have more in our community when we're known for entertainment. Like, it's one of the few areas that we're allowed to truly compete in. So if you get snubbed for the Oscars or the Academy Award or whatever the other ones are, I understand being offended and saying that you're offended, making it a point that people know what was done to you, but not to obsess about it. Like, move on. That's their show, right? That's their thing. And you know how they treat us as a general thing. That's how they treat us. So you knew you weren't going to get a fair shake anyway.
And I agree with everything you're saying, but here is my thing. I think we need to start celebrating our own ourselves.
I agree with that.
Like paying more attention. And I know I said the Image Awards, but there's more than the NAACP Image Awards. There's, if you're a singer, you want to win a Grammy. If you're an actor, you want to win a Tony if you're on Broadway, an Oscar if you're in the movie. But we have to kind of get, because if I was giving Oscars, Angela Bassett would have won for What's Love Got to Do with It. I'll take you to the old school. I'm like,
Yeah,
why did
and that's
what was
fine.
it?
And I agree with you, but it's not a black centered thing. And we don't live in a nation that has any level of justice or equality across the ethnic groups. So things like Girl Plays the Piano gets an Oscar, while another great movie that was by Latinos doesn't even get mentioned, right? Like that's the landscape that we stand in.
Right. So I'm saying, since that is the landscape, we know it's the landscape. We know they're not going to have Black people win for the next 20 years. Why not highlight the NAACP Image Awards, or, well, not the Vibe Awards. We don't want the
Whichever
Vibe
ones you
Awards.
want. The Soul
Yeah.
Award, I don't care. First of all, one of the things we can look at, just tossing it out there, is make a new one. And when you make the new one, actually make it representative of what you want to see in the world, not as a redress to what you've experienced in the world, right? Because like the NAACP Image Awards, in my view, that really even shouldn't be an entertainment thing. That should really be looking at the best and brightest of our community. So that might be a doctor, or right?
Because they honor literature, they honor contemporary dance. They got enough diversity in it.
That's awesome.
Like,
I didn't know that because I don't do award shows, but that's great. But then if we wanted to have something that rivals the Oscars, one of the good things about the Oscars is that race is not the first thing about it. Race is always in it because this is America. But if you want to have something better, then let's make something better. But when you make it better, actually make it better, right? Understand that Black people ain't the only ones out here, and Latinos ain't the only ones, right? Make it so literally white, Black, Asian, all the different groups, the quality of your work gets recognized. Whoever rose above and got it, and the people liked it, and not just box office, because I know this is the art that goes into it and all that goes, but then do that. Do something better. Make
I'm
something
going to
better.
tell you why I disagree with what you're saying, sort of. Because I think if I'm looking at like, and I know people don't like this term Latinx, I will
They
never
don't even use it.
understand that culture. I'm not part of that culture. When I'm looking at a movie, first of all, I rarely go to movies. Like me
Yeah, I
going
never
to a
watched them.
movie, it's like, ugh. But if I'm gonna go to a movie and I know it doesn't have Black people, I'm not even wasting my time.
But you like white films, and you like white shows, and you like white
No,
things.
I said movies. There's the movies I like tend to be older.
Okay, that's fair.
Um, and I mean, I'm talking Wizard of Oz,
White,
North by Northwest.
white,
It is. I'm not saying they aren't. I'm just saying these are what I like. But I think, for example, The Godfather, the first one, and maybe
amazing.
the second.
First and second one,
Those are the
awesome.
two greatest movies I've probably ever seen in my life. You're not
Just
gonna
like the
argue
first
with
Star
me.
Wars movies. Great.
Yeah, it's like you're not gonna argue with me. Now, did they have any Black people in those movies? Nope. It wasn't.
But
It wasn't.
the point I was making, though, Tracy, though, is if we want better, then we need to be better. So we have the NAACP Image Awards. If you just want to do Black, we have the Source Awards. If you just want to do
Well,
Black,
no, technically, you don't
is the
have to
Source
be
Award still
Black to
around?
win a double NAACP award. You could be Latino. You could be
Technically, but
anything but
it's ours.
non-white.
But let's just be real. It's ours. Okay. But yeah, you're just gonna be pretty much non-white. Okay, cool. But my thing is, if you want something that's just Black, then fine, do that. We have options. I'm not against that at all. But if you're trying to say that the issue with the Oscars is that it doesn't give a fair shake to non-white performers, then make something to rival the Oscars that lets everyone, that doesn't care about your race. We're not trying to make up for what the Oscars did wrong. We're going to do it right. And so in that case, now white, Black, Asian, whatever, the quality of your work, let's go. And what that could hopefully do is people will start seeing things that they didn't even know were like something they
Yeah,
might be interested in, like Sisterhood
because
of the Traveling Pants. I think that was Latin, you know? You just think,
the movie with the Asian group, and I was like, that's like how I grew up. What are you talking about? They just happen to be Asian, all of them.
A
Wait
Bronx
a minute, hold
Tale,
on.
amazing movie. If that was
What
something new,
movie won Best Oscar? I gotta think about this movie. One battle after another. I'm like, really?
I've
Yeah,
never heard of that.
really, 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 really. Y'all gonna give Michael B. Jordan an Oscar with it? And like I said, congratulations, but I was still like, really? Because he didn't put no money on him winning, none. Like I thought he had zero chance of winning. I'm like, nah, because if I'm looking at when Will Smith won his Oscar, I was like, he got it. He don't even got to show up. He don't even got to. He could sit at home. He could put rolls in his hair. It's his. Inscribe his name on it right now. Ain't no. Uh, wait a minute.
That movie was terrible.
That movie, I got to agree with you, Terry. Michael was the best part of the movie.
Now,
Like
Diana
it's
Ross was the best part of the movie.
no, she wasn't.
She's
All
so
that
pretty. She's so
girl, why
pretty.
you crying all
She's so
that
pretty.
vine?
She's so pretty. She's so pretty.
She's a very beautiful. She's very beautiful, even to this day. But the best part, two best parts about the Wiz, Michael Jackson as the Scarecrow, best part of the movie.
I think the Tin Man. I can't remember who he was, but he was better than me.
Nah, not that Nipsey can't sing
Yeah,
Russell.
Nipsey.
Them all, boy, if you don't sit in. Oh, and
But the whole
Mabel
movie was
King,
bad.
Mabel King as Eveline. Them the two best parts of the movie. That's it. You cannot have a movie with just two good actors.
Best part of that movie was when it went off.
The best part was when Michael saying "You can't win, child," and then it just went downhill, and then it got uphill when Eveline, and then went downhill again. It's like there's only two good parts to this whole movie.
My wife likes that movie. I never enjoyed that movie.
Black people will argue me up and down. It's better than the Wizard of Oz. Are you on dope?
See, I enjoy the Wizard of Oz. I don't know if I can watch it now because I just don't know. But I
You
really
think
like
Dorothy
that movie.
killed the Wicked Witch of the West, but I mean, we're not gonna go into that.
No, but I really did. I enjoyed that movie. I like the music on The Wiz. But if I'm just gonna talk about a black musical, then Car Wash is all. Just give me Car Wash.
That's a terrible movie.
Movie is terrible, but the music was banging.
But you need the script and the acting and you
The
need
Wiz
that to
didn't
make
have
a
no
good
good
movie.
acting and nothing. And The Wiz was a direct ripoff of The Wizard of Oz. And they didn't have no budget, even though they had our best actors of the time, our best performers of the time.
No. So you don't understand the story of The Wiz. It started off as a fantastic, ground revolutionary Broadway musical. Then Barry Gordy bought the rights, and because two black people wrote The Wiz, and they wrote specifically taking that story, changing it to black, but they kept it in Kansas. Then they got two white writers for the movie, Gary Shoemaker and I forget the other guy. They took out what made the Broadway play great. The Broadway play, hands down, is one of the best musicals I have ever I've seen on
cool.
YouTube.
Fat Remains was a ripoff of The Wizard of Oz.
I mean, but yeah, I'm like Nelson. I'm sorry, that was a terrible, terrible movie. But since it's 9 o'clock and I didn't realize it was 9 o'clock,
Time
guys,
flies.
I did not realize I didn't talk about primaries coming up. So for those of you that are going to vote in the primary, no, I have not made up my mind about whether I'm going to vote in the primaries or not. And I
Somebody
did
in
not.
Indiana?
Yeah, in Indiana, because I'm like, really, this is one of the few times I don't like nobody that's running. I'm just like, I can't get behind nobody. But I know that's my civic duty, so I'm like, I'll come. But I'll talk more about that next week. I will also be talking about I meant to talk about Butch Ware's name being taken off the race for governor and the implications on that, but I'm trying to get somebody on here that talks about that because I obviously don't live in California and what that means when he actually made the ballot and then they took his name off for such a terrible reason, such as the phone number was wrong. Y'all got to come up and do something better than that. But anyway, I didn't talk about that. I didn't talk about primaries coming up. And I didn't talk about this, and I'm going to talk about it next week. I want to talk about what will it actually take for a third party candidate to actually win a congressional seat. I think that's going to be a fantastic topic because I think if there's this is the time. This is the time. You're not going to have any better shot at it.
2026 is not the time.
Huh?
Not for 2026. We're late.
No, I think 2026 is the time.
Who and shouldn't they? They'd already have to be in the primaries with a good following.
Well, remember, third parties don't have primaries. Only Democrats and Republicans do. And then there's about 34 states that don't allow third parties to even have a primary.
I can't even, because I don't follow it, but I can't even think of a prominent third party like House or Senate candidate.
Well, that's what I'm going to be talking about next week. I'm going to talk about things that I think we should be doing. Um,
But
I'm
my
also,
point in saying that, Tracy, is how are you going to win this cycle? It's 6 months, 8 months away, and don't nobody know who you are. Like,
and again, I'm going to talk about that next week. I'm going to talk about that next week. I also want, again, I'm definitely going to talk about Butch Ware's name being taken off the California primary. I'm like, yeah. Now California does have a primary. They have what's called a jungle primary. So they put all the candidates in one big basket, and the two that they get the top votes, they face off. So it could be two Democrats face off in November, two Republicans based off. But I want to talk about what Butch Ware is doing, why that was a threat, and then why they took his name off the ballot, because that's some foul, y'all real foul, California, for y'all real foul on that. Real foul. Um, I will also remind everybody that the Tracy show in May will move to 8 o'clock p.m. And once a month, I will have the after party. I don't know what we're talking about at the after party because it's not even April yet. So don't what you talking about? I don't know yet. It's not even April. But I know that I am all I am wanting. Let me go up here and find the link. Let me find the link. Is sign up there. All I'll need is your email address and your name. I'll send you the link to the Zoom room. Again, on the link, it will ask you not to share it because I don't need trolls. But remember, starting in May, the show will move from 7 o'clock p.m. to 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we'll go from there. I don't know this Thursday. The Tracy show is again back. We got another interview coming in. Saturday show. I don't know what Saturday show will be about yet because I just haven't thought about a topic. But again, remember there are 172 days until the NFL makes its triumphant return. Y'all know what happens. This show right here goes away when football season comes. And then when the Super Bowl comes back, and that'll be February the 14th, 2027. Yes, I know the date of the Super Bowl, but February the 14th, 2027, will come back again. But so we've got about 24 weeks of me coming on Sunday. So they'll ask, are you coming on Sunday? Yes. And then come September, I won't be. Yes, tell everybody where they can find you.
yeah, you can find me on Complex Mind Simple Man on YouTube. Complex Mind Simple Man on YouTube. Tracy and I had a great conversation here recently, so you might want to check that out. But yeah, I talk about right now. I'm talking about like third party ideas and stuff like that.
Guys, thank you so very much. Remember to subscribe to this channel. We are at 410 subscribers. That means we're 90 away from 500. We are so close to that 500 mark. I want to do a 500 subscriber show so bad, so only you can help me get there. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors. Subscribe, 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 subscribe. Remember to share. Remember to comment. Remember to come back Thursday at 7 p.m. for the Tracy show. The Saturday show comes on Saturdays at 7 p.m. And of course, the Sunday show comes on Sundays at 7 p.m. Thank you very much. Thank you for joining us. I did not get to all my topics, but I promise I'll get to them next week. Have a good one.